Sister Ningbing. Isn't this a little too much? Sister Ningbing, you've completely humiliated your husband. How will he ever hold his head up again? Today, I went to pick up my wife from a bar. Just as I was about to open the door, I heard voices inside the private room. My wife's best friend was confronting her. Who told her to humiliate Dateng in front of so many people? Dateng has been threatening to jump off a building for days. I was only teaching him a small lesson. When the time comes, just scare him. He'll definitely fight back. The three of you get him drunk. When he wakes up the next day, say he slept with you. Let's see if he's still so arrogant after that. But I need to warn you all, your brother-in-law is quite handsome too. If you can't control yourselves, you know exactly what I'm capable of. Ningbing swept a frosty gaze over them. Terrified, they hurriedly waved their hands. The next day, Ningbing glanced at her watch. She decided it was about time. She called her best friends. How did it go? Did you keep yourselves under control? Whimpering came through the phone. Sister Ningbing, we control ourselves. But brother-in-law didn't. When I opened my eyes, my head felt stuffed with glue. The ceiling was white. The chandelier was crystal. The room was absurdly large. When I turned my head, I saw a woman sleeping beside me. She was beautiful. Stunningly so. Her skin was as pale as milk. Her lashes were long and curled. Her lips were slightly parted in sleep. Her breathing even. I froze for 3 seconds. Then a flood of memories surged into my mind. They appeared as abruptly as downloaded data. My name was Fang Yuan. I was 32, vice president of Hang Yuan Group. My wife, Ningbing, was president of Qingkong Group. We had been married for 6.5 years. I sat up, my back drenched in cold sweat. Those names were too familiar. I had been cursing them just last night. The book was called The CEO's Wife Sent Me to Her Best Friends for Her Young Assistant. It was a female audience angst novel. In it, Ningbing and Fang Yuan had been together since college, an enviable couple who made it all the way to the altar. The heroine was warm, generous, elegant, and beautiful. The hero was a brilliant student, tall, handsome, aloof, and proud. He normally cared for her in every way. She was gentle and thoughtful toward him. But when the 7-year itch hit, a manipulative male assistant named Wang Dateng joined Ningbing's company. He was handsome, silver-tongued, and skilled at playing the victim. He had Ningbing completely under his spell. In the end, just because the male lead mocked the little assistant for coming from shady nightlife work, Ningbing decided to avenge Wang Dateng. She had 3 best friends get Fang Yuan drunk. They staged a fake drunken encounter. When Fang Yuan woke up, he believed he had truly betrayed his wife. Unable to bear the blow, he sank into despair. He died within a few years. When I read that part last night, I was so furious I nearly smashed my phone. Wasn't this male lead ridiculously ungrateful? His wife went to all that trouble to arrange 3 beauties for him. And what did he do? And he wanted to die over it. I remember thinking, if I transmigrated into this male lead, I definitely wouldn't jump. I'd put that fake innocent creep in his place. Then make Ningbing learn what regret meant. And then, here I was. Ningbing, lying beside me, woke up. She rubbed her sleepy eyes and looked at me. Her voice was soft and drowsy. Honey, why are you up so early? What time is it? She wrapped an arm around my waist and pressed her face to my chest. Her loose hair tickled my skin. I counted the days in my head. We had been married 6.5 years. Wang Dateng would appear in another 6 months. In the original novel, these 6 months were Fang Yuan and Ningbing's final happy days. 6 months later, that damned fake innocent creep would show up at Ningbing's company and slowly drive their marriage into the abyss. I looked at Ningbing in my arms. She gazed up at me, her eyes sparkling. A smile curved her lips. I couldn't help but sigh. Such a breathtaking wife. Such perfect days. Would it all end in 6 months? As I was thinking that, her gentle voice pulled me back to reality. Honey, what are you thinking about? What's gotten into you today? You keep drifting off. Nothing. I was just captivated by you. I took her hand and kissed it. You're awful. She coyly burrowed into my arms. We've been married for years, and you're still so cheesy. Her sudden gesture made it impossible for me to resist. I'd deal with the future later. For now, what mattered was cherishing the present and making the most of it. I rolled over and caught her. My voice was low and slightly husky. Baby, in this life, you could only be mine. By the time we got up, it was nearly noon. The days that followed flew by. During that time, I used nearly every romantic gesture I could think of. We vacationed and traveled together. I drove her to and from work every day. At home, we cooked together, talked late, then slept. We built a life together by day and made love by night. We were together every day. And just like that, 6 months passed. One night, Ningbing came home 2 hours later than usual. When she came in, I was on my phone in the living room. She changed into slippers, came over, and sat beside me. She curled into the sofa, looking exhausted. I put down my phone and looked at her. Why are you home so late? A group of new hires started today. I gave them an orientation speech, then held a welcome event. She rubbed her temples, looking slightly irritated. My heart dropped. It was time for the male supporting character to appear. So I cautiously asked, "These new hires must all have impressive credentials, right?" "Not really." One of them was a waiter named Wang Dateng. "He's very sweet, and his service is excellent." Ningbing yawned, looking sleepy. Wang Dateng. The name was like a needle driven into my ear. Without showing a thing, I asked in apparent confusion, "Is that so? Why would a company like yours hire someone like that?" Ningbing didn't notice anything strange. She answered casually, "The young man is pretty sharp. When I took clients out before, he was the one who served us. He's charming and knows how to get things done. And then he came to the company this morning. He quit his job at the karaoke bar, saying he wanted to do honest work under me. He seemed ambitious, so I placed him in administration. He can start with the little things." "You hired him?" "Of course I did. It's a good thing when young people have ambition." Ningbing tilted her head and gave me a meaningful smile. "What? Are you jealous?" "I just think. But never mind." I smiled and stroked her hair. "It's your company. You can decide for yourself." I knew my husband was the best. "All right. I'm going to shower. I reek of alcohol." She leaned over and kissed my cheek. After she went upstairs, the smile slowly faded from my face. It had begun. So it really was today. I went to the kitchen, poured myself water, and drank it slowly. The water was cold, chilling me from my throat to my stomach. The original plot was unfolding, one event after another. Wang Dateng appeared. Ningbing took him in. She brought him into her company. I knew all too well what came next. Over the next month, Wang Dateng would build up his image as a diligent, hard-working man who expected nothing in return. A kind-hearted, honest fellow. Whenever Ningbing got close, he would dramatically step back. At the office, he would deliberately avoid her. Over time, Ningbing would notice him. Then came a company dinner. Every seat was taken, except for one beside Ningbing. Wang Dateng would arrive last and scan the room. He would rather beg someone to switch seats than sit beside her. After dinner, Ningbing would speak with him. She would ask why he was avoiding her. Then he would deliver his rehearsed lines. "President I have feelings for you, but I know you have a family. I'm afraid I won't be able to control my feelings. And I'm not the kind of man who breaks up a family, so I can only keep my distance." From that conversation onward, Ningbing's attitude toward him would subtly change. In her eyes, Dateng would no longer be an ordinary administrative assistant. He would become a man who wasn't driven by money, diligent, hardworking, and kind-hearted. A man completely unlike her husband. In the original novel, Fang Yuan was aloof and proud. Though he treated Ningbing well, he kept everyone else at arm's length. Ningbing was warm and outgoing. Over time, she would find Fang Yuan too stiff and arrogant. And Wang Dateng, he was charming, knew what to say, and always kept a proper distance. That contrast would be the start of Ningbing falling for him. I set my glass on the table. The bottom of the glass struck the marble tabletop, making a crisp sound. In the original novel, Fang Yuan did nothing. He was too proud. He disdained explaining himself or fighting for her. By the time he realized something was wrong, it was too late. But I was different. I wasn't high-minded at all, damn it. If it was time to fight, I'd fight. If it was time to hit, I'd hit. "Honey, I'm done showering." Ningbing came downstairs wrapped in a robe, her hair still dripping wet. "What are you thinking about? You look so serious." I looked up at her. Under the lights, fresh from the shower, her fair skin was flushed pink, and she looked utterly at ease. I suddenly smiled. "Nothing. I was thinking about tomorrow's meeting proposal." "Stop thinking about it. It's late. Let's get some sleep." She came over and took my hand. I let her lead me upstairs. Seeing how thoughtful she was, I felt a flicker of reluctance. Ningbing, if the plot is unavoidable, you'd better withstand the test. Otherwise, another week passed. One morning, Ningbing was still asleep in my arms. Last night had been too intense. She was exhausted. Curled against me, she breathed evenly. A little morning light streamed in, casting a small shadow beneath her lashes. The doorbell rang downstairs. Someone pressed it several times in a row. I frowned. "Who is it? What time is it?" Ningbing mumbled, then nestled deeper into my arms. I gently moved her aside, threw on a robe, and went downstairs. Sister Lee was already at the door. "Mr. Fang, a young man says he wants to see Mrs. Fang." I went to the door and checked the video doorbell. It was him. Wang Dateng. I knew that face all too well. The original novel described him as sunny and handsome. Seeing him in person, that was true enough. He was about 5'10", neither thin nor heavy. His features were refined, his skin fair, and he had an approachable air. He wore plain clothes, a white shirt and black pants. He held a palm-sized box in his hands. Standing outside my home, he looked restrained and nervous. I sneered inwardly. Coming to someone's home first thing in the morning? This move came even earlier than in the original novel. Let him in. I turned back to the living room and sat on the sofa. Wang Dateng followed Sister Lee inside. He stood in the middle of the living room. First, he gave me a proper bow. "Hello, Mr. Fang. I ignored him. I leaned back on the sofa with my legs crossed. I didn't even raise my eyes. Ningbing came downstairs. She had changed into something simple. She visibly froze when she saw Wang Dateng. Why are you here? Wang Dateng stepped forward, offering her the box. President Bai. I thought about it all night. I still don't think I can accept such an expensive gift from you. It was an elegant watch box. Ningbing took it and opened it. Inside was a men's wristwatch. I recognized the brand. It was worth at least 200,000 yuan. Ningbing looked slightly uneasy. She glanced at me. I brought these back from my last business trip. It wasn't just for him. Lots of people at the company received them. Did everyone else get a watch this expensive too? I didn't speak loudly, but the living room was silent. Every word rang clear. Ningbing opened her mouth, but said nothing. Mr. Fang. Wang Dateng suddenly stepped forward, placing himself in front of Ningbing. President Bai and I are only employer and employee. Please don't judge us with such a filthy mindset. At last, he looked me straight in the eye. I couldn't tell whether he was truly nervous or just acting well. I stared into his eyes for 3 seconds. Who the hell do you think you are? My voice was calm, yet threatening. Wang Dateng froze. My wife and I are talking. Who gave you the right to speak? Put away your little schemes. Now get the hell out of the company. Otherwise, his face flushed bright red. Instinctively, he turned to look at Ningbing. This was too familiar. Every time I read women's fiction, the second male lead wore that expression, and it always disgusted me. Seeing it play out live made it even more revolting. My hands itched. If I didn't let it out, I'd be too worked up to eat all day. Just as my eyes searched for a handy weapon, Ningbing stepped in. Didn't you hear what my husband said? Go to the company now and pack your things. I'll have someone settle your pay. Wang Dateng stood there stunned. Seeing that Ningbing wouldn't back down, he turned and ran out. I went over the events before and after the scene again in my mind. Ningbing's choice differed from the original novel. In the original novel, after Fang Yuan discovered the watch, he also demanded that Ningbing fire Wang Dateng. Ningbing refused then, too. But what did Fang Yuan do after she refused? Nothing. He put on airs. He was a proud man. He disdained lowering himself to argue with an assistant. He believed Ningbing would come to her senses eventually. And then, Ningbing became more and more concerned about Wang Dateng, and cared about him more and more, until that fatal trap involving her best friends delivered the final blow. I looked at my reflection in the glass. The corners of my mouth slowly lifted. This time, Ningbing chose me. My efforts over the past 6 months hadn't been for nothing. For me, she had changed the entire plot. The next afternoon, Ningbing called me. She said she was meeting up with her girlfriends and asked me to join them at a karaoke bar to relax. I drove to the agreed location. When I pushed open the door, I saw Ningbing and her 3 friends on the sofa, and Wang Dateng was sitting right beside Ningbing. His wrist was wrapped in gauze, and his face was pale. He looked somewhat weak. My face darkened instantly as I pointed at Wang Dateng. Didn't I tell you to fire him? Why is he here? Fang Yuan, don't get angry. Let me explain. Explain what? Explain why you went back on your word. Or why a company president like you is letting him fool you so completely. Ever since Dateng left the company that day, he's been threatening to hurt himself. Yesterday, he nearly jumped from a building. Luckily, someone stopped him. He's emotionally unstable right now. If he's provoked again, who knows what he'll do. He's got backbone and strong self-respect. Once he gets through this, I'll make him leave. I promise. She nearly made me laugh in anger. A man with pride and self-respect would work at a nightclub drinking with clients and flatter rich people. Wang Dateng looked as though he'd suffered a terrible insult and made to run outside. Honey, look how pitiful he is. Please, just show him some pity, okay? Pity him. I don't think he's miserable enough yet. When I make him even more miserable, then it'll be time to pity him. As I spoke, I walked toward Wang Dateng. Ningbing grabbed my hand. Her 3 friends all tried to stop me. He's already threatening to hurt himself. Apologize to him first. Calm him down, okay? Before they could finish, I backhanded Ningbing across the face. The slap rang out, sharp and loud, especially piercing in the private room. Ningbing staggered back a step. Blood trickled from the corner of her mouth. Holding her face, she took a long moment to react. Fang Yuan, you hit me. This is how I always apologize. Ningbing finally snapped. You've nearly driven Wang Dateng to hurt himself. What more do you want? Will you only be satisfied once you've driven him to death? Wang Dateng immediately stepped in front of her. President Fang, it's all my fault. Take it out on me. Don't make things hard for Sister Ningbing. Sister Ningbing is a good person. She just can't bear to see me suffer. Supporting Ningbing, Wang Dateng shouted at me. Fang Yuan, you're insane. If you're a man, take it out on me. Don't rush. Do you think you'll get away? I grabbed 2 unopened bottles from the table and hurled them at Wang Dateng one after another. He reeled from the blows before he could steady himself. Then I kicked him to the floor. The women all rushed over. Ningbing reached for me too. Her 3 friends pleaded with me, while shielding Wang Dateng. I shook them off and wiped the liquor from my hands. Then I turned and left. The moment I got home, Ningbing called. Honey, You were too impulsive today. Wang Dateng is hurt and hasn't recovered yet. He even wanted to call the police, but I talked him out of it. My friends and I are staying here tonight to look after him. She tried to continue, but I hung up. It wasn't only by Ningbing. Shang Xinqi and the other two were all gathered around Wang Dateng too. For a man they'd only recently met, all four of them left me, her husband, alone at home. What a shameless lie. If Wang Dateng truly wanted to report it, Ningbing couldn't have talked him out of it so easily. In the original novel, no matter how bad things got, the police only showed up at the very end. But now, after I fought back just once, Wang Dateng was threatening me with the police. Since they used the police to intimidate me first, they couldn't blame me for using the same move. Ningbing still believed I was the Fang Yuan from the original novel, the proud man obsessed with saving face, who swallowed every grievance alone, and feared embarrassment if things got out of hand. But from the first day I transmigrated here, I said it clearly. Fight when it's time to fight. Hit when it's time to hit. If she didn't believe me, I'd show her. A few days later, Shang Xinqi suddenly called me. Brother-in-law, hurry over. Ningbing got drunk at the karaoke bar. She's crying and making a scene. We can't hold her back. After getting the address, I drove over. As I parked, I still thought Ningbing had truly gotten drunk. But when I reached the private room and heard their voices, I realized the call was part of their plan. The karaoke bar's hallway was long. Off-key singing poured from rooms on both sides. Their room was at the end, its door not fully closed. Warm yellow light spilled through the gap. When I reached the door, I was about to push it open, but my hand froze midair. Ningbing, isn't this too cruel to brother-in-law? He'll lose all his dignity. How will he ever hold his head up again? Who told him to humiliate Dateng in public? Her tone held a coldness I'd never heard in her voice before. Dateng has been threatening to hurt himself these past few days. He's grown noticeably thinner. I intend to teach Fang Yuan a lesson and break that arrogance of his. Dateng even called me last night, saying life was meaningless. Just because Fang Yuan was born rich, does that give him the right to disregard whether others live or die? So, what are you planning to do? Once he gets here, I'll pretend to be drunk. I'll have Fang Yuan take me home, then drive you three to a hotel. In her plan, I was still the upright gentleman who followed rules and lived by principles. If her three friends came even slightly close, I would pull away. They would test the waters, then keep plying me with alcohol. Once I was drunk unconscious, they would stage a scene I couldn't explain the next morning. Then they would insist that I'd betrayed Ningbing. Being as proud as I was, if I believed it, I'd completely break down. Ningbing, are you crazy? How can you joke about something like this? That's far too vicious. It only works because it's vicious. He's so proud. Something like this will terrify him. Then we'll see if he still dares to be so arrogant. The room fell silent for several seconds. But this is too dangerous. What if brother-in-law believes it? Then that's his problem. He can bear the consequences of his own actions. Silence settled over the room again. You're only scaring him. But if any of you get other ideas, you know what I'm capable of. You all know. Don't worry, Ningbing. We would never dare step out of line. Outside the door, I saved the recording on my phone. Ningbing, you were even crueler than I expected. To avenge Wang Dateng, you were truly willing to ruin your own husband with this. Who arranged it? Who took part? And what outcome they intended? They had all stated it plainly themselves. Their voices carried through the door, clear as day in the hallway. I stood outside, perfectly still, until they had said everything. Footsteps sounded from the end of the hall. A server was coming this way. I put away my phone and pushed open the door. My voice was as calm as ever. Ningbing. Everyone in the room looked over at once. Ningbing's eyes were red. She truly looked as though she'd cried. She sat on the sofa, with Shang Xinqi, Yaola, and Feng Xiaojian around her. All three looked uncomfortable. You're here. Ningbing stood up and deliberately swayed. Shang Xinqi quickly supported her. I played along with their act. I walked over. Had too much to drink? Ningbing nodded. MMHMM. Then she turned to instruct her three friends. Have your brother-in-law take me home first, then drive you to the hotel. As she spoke, she gave the three women a meaningful look. Then she looked at me again. There was something in that look I couldn't understand yet. Okay. Ningbing lowered her head. Let's go. Fine. I'll take you home first, then drive them to the hotel. I acted as if I'd seen nothing. First, I took Ningbing home and got her settled. Then I drove the three women to the hotel. On the way, Shang Xinqi sat in the passenger seat. Yaola and Feng Xiaojian sat in the back. Soft music played, and the air conditioning was just right. None of them said much. Shang Xinqi suddenly spoke. Brother-in-law, don't take what happened today to heart. Ningbing was drunk. She only said those things in anger. What things? I glanced at her. Her face changed, and she stammered that it was nothing. She only said Ningbing and I were always arguing. I didn't ask further. The car arrived at the hotel. At the hotel, I got rooms for them. The front desk handed over the key cards, and Yaola spoke up. Brother-in-law, you've done so much. Come upstairs for some water before you go. I followed them into the elevator. Their room was a suite on the 16th floor. The living room was spacious, with several bottles already on the coffee table. I didn't know when they had ordered them. Shang Xinqi picked up a bottle of red wine. Brother-in-law, we rarely get the chance. Let's have a drink. I looked at the bottle in her hand. Here we go. It's late. You should get some rest too. Yaola came over as well. The three of us have always wanted to buy you a drink. We never had the chance before. Now that we have the chance, we should at least raise a glass. Fang Xiaojian had already brought out 4 wine glasses. Each one was filled to the brim. I laughed to myself. 3 women make quite a show, and they were putting on a convincing performance. Fine. I took the wine and clinked glasses with them. The moment I drank half a glass, Shang Xinqi refilled it. Brother-in-law, you can really hold your liquor. I didn't expose her. I simply drank glass after glass. After 3 glasses, I deliberately began slurring my words. I rose, then collapsed back onto the sofa. I can't do this. I need to go. My head kept nodding. I looked completely drunk, senseless. The 3 women exchanged glances. Shang Xinqi said to Yaola, brother-in-law is too drunk to drive home. Fang Xiaojian added, let him rest here. Fang Xiaojian suggested pushing the beds together, so I could sleep here. Shang Xinqi said, then help him onto the bed. They put me on the bed, then returned to the living room. I closed my eyes and kept my breathing slow and steady. What do we do now? Do as Ningbing said. Stage the scene. When he wakes tomorrow, he won't be able to explain anything. Do we really have to do this? Ningbing already warned us. If we don't do as she says, she won't let us off. We're only scaring brother-in-law anyway. We're not really going to do anything. I heard them come back. Just as they were about to begin, I opened my eyes. Smiling, I sat up. How about I help you? That night, I explained the next part of the plan to them. The next morning, a ringing phone woke me. It wasn't mine. I sat up from the sofa. The 3 women were crammed onto one large bed, sleeping in every direction. Shang Xinqi's phone kept ringing. Answer it. Shang Xinqi saw the caller ID and instantly woke up. By Ningbing. Shang Xinqi sat up and looked at me. I nodded. Shang Xinqi took a deep breath and answered. She turned on speakerphone before saying, Ningbing. Shang Xinqi. How did it go? Shang Xinqi glanced at me. I silently mouthed 2 words. By Ningbing sounded relaxed. Unlike last night, her voice came through the speaker today, as though nothing had happened. It went well. You girls didn't lose control last night, did you? The line went silent for 2 seconds. Shang Xinqi bit her lip, her eyes gradually reddening. As I taught her, she lowered her voice. Ningbing. We kept ourselves under control, but brother-in-law didn't. The other end was silent for a full 10 seconds. What do you mean? It worked. By Ningbing paused again before slowly speaking. Don't worry. I won't leave you unrewarded. The call ended. Shang Xinqi put down the phone, her eyes still red. Brother-in-law. She believed it. Still calling me brother-in-law. I patted her head and stood. I told them to freshen up first, then go downstairs for breakfast together. We had real business to handle today. All 3 nodded. After the call, By Ningbing's feelings were complicated. On one hand, she felt she'd finally gotten revenge for Wang Dateng. On the other, she felt uneasy. She feared I might truly do something reckless. That unease lasted only a few minutes. Looking in the mirror, she became more convinced she had done nothing wrong. I had humiliated Wang Dateng in public, so she should make me taste humiliation too. She had even decided that if I truly broke down, she would tell me the truth, comfort me properly, and this would all pass. By Ningbing spent half an hour getting ready at home. After changing clothes, she picked up her bag and opened the door. Several police officers stood outside. Ms. Bai Ningbing? One of them confirmed her identity. That's me. What is it? Someone reported that you directed several people to set Fang Yuan up. Please come with us and cooperate with the investigation. Bai Ningbing's smile froze. What setup? When did I ever harm him? This has to be a misunderstanding. There is no misunderstanding. The hotel footage has been secured. Your 3 friends have explained everything. Bai Ningbing's face went deathly pale. Her lips trembled as she tried to speak, but not a word came out. Only one thought remained in her mind. How had this suddenly become like this? She couldn't understand it at all. The 3 women who had followed her orders last night, why had they all changed by morning? She tried to explain further, but got only one response. You can talk when we get there. And so Bai Ningbing was taken away. When she was brought into a room, her 3 friends and I were all there. Attorney Wang sat nearby, with neatly organized evidence in hand. The moment she entered, everyone's eyes turned to her. She clearly didn't know Attorney Wang. Her gaze lingered on his documents for several seconds. Her face held a panic I'd never seen before. Bai Ningbing's hair was disheveled, and she wore no lipstick. Compared to when she sat in the karaoke planning everything last night, she looked like a completely different person. Shang Xinqi kept her head lowered. Yaola looked up at the ceiling. Feng Xiaojian kept wiping away tears. I told you to put on an act. Who told you to actually do it? The moment Bai Ningbing entered, she lunged at Shang Xinqi and the others. She raised her hand to strike them. Ningbing, Listen to our explanation. The three women dodged while trying to explain. Bai Ningbing wouldn't listen at all. The officers quickly pulled her away. She kept struggling. Her hair had completely come undone. Her face was covered in tears. You were the one who told us to do it. You said we'd be richly rewarded if we succeeded. Why are you denying it now? Bai Ningbing froze. After hearing that, Bai Ningbing suddenly turned and stared at me. In an instant, she understood something. It was you, wasn't it? You set this up. You made them turn against me. I didn't answer. I only looked at her calmly. Attorney Wang laid out the recordings, videos, and the testimony of her three friends on the table. From Bai Ningbing planning it at the karaoke lounge, to ordering the three women to get me drunk, to that speakerphone call that morning. Every step matched. Attorney Wang said nothing else. He simply laid out each piece of evidence in chronological order. Bai Ningbing first heard her own recorded voice, then saw the hotel footage, and finally looked at the three friends she'd known for years. Every piece corroborated the others. The karaoke lounge recording showed why she wanted to harm me. The hotel footage showed when the three women entered, and when I came out. The three friends described how Bai Ningbing arranged it, and how she threatened them, word for word. We are husband and wife, but that doesn't mean she can hire people to set me up. Who did what, and whom the evidence implicated, was already crystal clear. Bai Ningbing looked at her three friends' angry faces, then at the provocation in their eyes. She turned around and stared at me fiercely. All three had already taken my side. Bai Ningbing's lips trembled. She seemed to search their faces for someone willing to speak for her. But Shang Xinqi lowered her head. Yaola wouldn't look at her. Feng Xiaojian only kept wiping away tears. Bai Ningbing swayed. All the anger and resentment vanished from her face. Only fear remained. She looked at me, and tears suddenly fell. Honey, I never truly wanted to hurt you. I only wanted to scare you. I really only wanted to scare you. I would never let them actually do anything to you. She said she was only angry because I had humiliated Wang Dateng in public. She tried to come toward me, but was stopped. Honey, I only wanted to vent my anger. You humiliated Dateng in public. He kept saying he would do something terrible. I was afraid he really couldn't take it. I nearly laughed when I heard that. Even now, she was still defending Wang Dateng. Bai Ningbing finally seemed to realize something. Through tears, she added, I would never let another woman touch you. You're my husband. You're the person I love most. Save those words for your explanation. When she heard that, the last trace of hope left her face. I stood up, straightened my collar, then turned and walked out. Fang Yuan, I love you. I truly love you. I was wrong. Please forgive me, she cried out after me. Her voice exploded behind me. It was thick with sobs and despair, sharp as a needle piercing my eardrums. Every word carried a wrenching sob. I didn't turn back. Bai Ningbing's cries grew more piercing. Again and again, she called my name. Again and again, she said she was wrong. As I passed her, Bai Ningbing suddenly rushed over and grabbed my sleeve. She shook all over as she cried, her voice growing softer and softer. Her eyes were red from crying. Her tangled hair clung to her face. She tilted her face up at me, as though using the last of her strength. Honey, look at me. We've been husband and wife for so many years. You can't just abandon me like this. By the end, she was already kneeling on the floor. I looked down at her. Last night, she had been sitting in that karaoke lounge, coldly saying she would teach me a lesson. Now she clutched my clothes, begging me not to leave. Life really is dramatic. I removed her hand from my sleeve, prying her fingers loose one by one. With every finger I pulled free, her cries grew louder. Fang Yuan, her voice chased after my retreating figure, all the way to the door. The corridor was empty. Her cry of Fang Yuan echoed off the walls, then echoed back to her ears. The automatic doors opened, and sunlight flooded in. I took a deep breath and kept walking. The sunlight was beautiful. Behind me, Bai Ningbing kept calling my name. No, no, don't go. Her plea of don't go faded farther behind me, until I could no longer hear it. Bai Ningbing was taken into custody. She wouldn't be back anytime soon. The recordings, videos, and her three friends' testimony, along with our marital relationship, made clear why she set me up, whom she ordered to act, and what outcome she intended. It all pointed directly to her. To avenge Wang Dateng, she had others frame her own husband. That motive made the matter even more serious. Attorney Wang only told me the case was very serious. During that time, Bai Ningbing applied to return home, but was denied. Someone on her side also came to see me, hoping I would relent. I received them in my office. The moment they spoke, they began pleading Bai Ningbing's case. Mr. Fang, Ms. Bai has always had feelings for you. She was only misled this time, and made a foolish mistake. Who misled her? The visitor was caught off guard. Wang Dateng? I leaned back in my chair. A personal assistant barely in his 20s. Could sweet-talk the president of Sky Group into setting up her own husband? Bai Ningbing is already 35. She's held the president's position for all these years. What she should and shouldn't do isn't for an assistant to decide for her. The visitor couldn't answer a word. I won't relent. The visitor reached the door, then turned back to urge me. You've been married for years. Surely that should count for something. That's right. I nodded. So what she traded all those years of marriage for was hiring 3 women to ruin my good name. The visitors sighed, then turned and left. I stood and saw them out. Less than 2 months later, the case reached its final outcome. The 3 friends explained every detail clearly. The recordings and videos I provided, also made by Ningbing's actions unmistakably clear. The last time she looked at me, she was much thinner than before. Her face was nearly bloodless. Her hair had been cut short. Our eyes met, and her lips moved. Her lips moved soundlessly. I'm sorry. I gave no response. In the end, she paid the price for her choices. She wouldn't be back anytime soon. The moment she heard the outcome, Ningbing fainted on the spot. I took a deep breath, feeling the weight in my heart finally lift. Next, it was Wang Dateng's turn. I returned to the company. The first thing I did was call a shareholders meeting and take over Sky Group. The company Ningbing cared about most ultimately became mine. I used my connections to make sure he could never find another decent job. No company dared hire him. Bars and entertainment venues shut him out too. With nowhere left to turn, he could only keep seeking wealthy people. I had someone set a trap for Wang Dateng. The person spent lavishly. He thought he had finally found a powerful patron. This time, he couldn't even be bothered to keep up his act. He only wanted to squeeze benefits from them as quickly as possible. After pretending for so long around Ningbing, he had ended up with nothing. Whenever he thought of it now, he deeply regretted it. That old talk about working hard without asking for anything back. He never mentioned it again. Before long, he developed serious health problems. The test results were grim. By the time he came to his senses, the person he thought he could rely on had long disappeared. Wang Dateng completely broke down. He still tried to beg Ningbing for help, hoping she would give him money. But the moment Ningbing heard his name, she cursed him furiously. It's all because of you. If it weren't for you, how could I have ended up like this? I never want to see you again. Ningbing blamed him for everything her life had become. Wang Dateng stood there with his mouth open for a long time, but no further words came. Wang Dateng's last shred of hope was gone. He stood there for a long time, then ran out like a madman, screaming in the streets. Later, someone saw him on an overpass downtown. He lay on the ground begging. His clothes were ragged, and a battered bowl sat before him. Only a few scattered coins lay inside. Passersby gave him a wide berth. Few were willing to stop. A year later, the letters Ningbing sent through others filled an entire drawer. Her elegant handwriting still covered the yellow stationery. Every letter said she was sorry. Again and again, she promised to change herself. She promised to make it up to me once she returned. I never replied to a single one. As for compensation, a company this large was already in my hands. I was more than satisfied. President Fang. Shang Xinqi walked into my office carrying coffee. She glanced at the envelope I had just tossed into the drawer. The corner of her lips curled up. She wore an ivory suit, her hair pinned up. She was nothing like the panicked girl from the karaoke bar a year ago. Is Sister Ningbing still refusing to give up? It's been a year. Does she still think you'll wait for her? She came up behind me and placed her fingers on my shoulders. Her massage was firm but gentle. Then again, it's no wonder. A man as good as you, who would ever let you go? Her lips drew close to my ear, her warm breath barely there. The office door suddenly swung open. Yaola entered with a report in hand. When she saw Shang Xinqi's hand, she paused mid-step. She wore a fitted black dress, with her burgundy hair falling over one shoulder. Sister Xinqi is here too. Her tone was even, but her eyes held an unreadable emotion. Delivering documents? Besides delivering documents, I have business to report to Mr. Fang. Yaola spread the report out before me. The Southeast Asian market grew by 12 percentage points. She leaned down and pointed to the figures, explaining them to me one by one. She stood very close, her arm pressed against mine. From the corner of my eye, I saw her staring at Shang Xinqi's hand on my shoulder. Shang Xinqi didn't move her hand. Mr. Fang, I heard a new Cantonese restaurant opened. Want to try it tonight? Without looking up, Yaola said, Mr. Fang isn't it free tonight? We have a video conference. The video conference is important. We'll go to the restaurant tomorrow. Yao's expression stiffened. Shang Xinqi laughed aloud. Since taking over Sky Group, my schedule had been packed every day. Yet those 3 still fought over something as trivial as dinner. Too many women meant trouble. They chirped away all day. None of them would yield. Then my phone lit up. Feng Xiaojian had sent a message. Mr. Fang, are you free tonight? I cooked dinner. Shang Xinqi immediately posted in their group chat, saying I had plans with her tonight, so the others could forget it. Yaola replied instantly, asking when that had been arranged. We just arranged it in the office. Yaola replied, I only heard Mr. Fang tell you to prepare the materials. Work is work. Personal matters are separate. I turned my phone face down. I didn't want to hear them bicker. The night from a year ago surfaced in my mind. In the hotel room, the 3 women stood before me, too frightened to form a complete sentence. Shang Xinqi had collapsed on the floor, while Fang Xiaojian sobbed nonstop. Yala was trembling all over in fear. I gave them two choices. First, do as I said. Second, I call the police. They chose the first. From that day on, they were no longer Bai Ningbing's friends. Bai Ningbing's 3 accomplices had all become mine. My phone lit up again. Fang Xiaojian sent a voice message. Her voice was thick with hurt. Mr. Fang, the soup has been simmering for 4 hours. It'll go to waste if you don't come. I picked up my phone. What time? 8 o'clock. Alright, the video conference should be over by then. I stood and put on my suit. As I passed my desk, I glanced again at the drawer full of letters. The yellow envelopes lay quietly inside. When the elevator doors opened, Fang Xiaojian was already waiting in the lobby. She carried an insulated food bag. She wore a light blue dress, her hair loose over her shoulders. When she saw me, her eyes curved like crescent moons. Mr. Fang. I took the bag and walked out of the building beside her. The night was soft, and the evening breeze was perfect. I was very satisfied with my life now. My career was thriving, and I had several beautiful confidants by my side. This